If you get stuck in the status quo of everything, it means your health, your wealth, your complete lifestyle gets stuck. And there's no way to getting into a real flow of knowing who you are, what you can do, what your word is, what your passion is. I mean, this financial stuck patterning in the body and the brain, when that is so clogged in the old mindset, there is really no way to move forward. We have been held captive for eons, so many million years. Yet today's, I mean, the floodgates are open. Everything went into the repair. You are free to be. Yet there is so much that hold people in that lower mindset, the old ways of thinking and copying people's thoughts, which is even worse. So how the hell are we going to vibrate on an original timeline and getting it all together? It is for some easy to do, for some very difficult, but it's a choice to make. It's a choice that you can make to really invest in yourself, to use your own brain power without copying and getting into your original strength. Of course, there's a hard way to go. I mean, everybody needs to learn. And the more you learn, as the saying goes, the more you earn. There hasn't been a time for me when I did not invest in self. Let's say at least 10% of my income monthly. Or if I don't have anything, start off with $10 or $20 a month instead of going for a cup of coffee everywhere around the world and not having anything in return. If you invest in something, the return needs to be factorized, doubled up. Otherwise, forget about that kind of an investment. It was a bad thing to do. So every investment needs to power you up, to upgrade at least your thinking patterns, your consciousness. It needs to lead in expansion. Reason why you always see me, most of the time actually, with a black background, because it represents the black universe we are living in, which is the omnipotent energies and waves. There is so much information out there, and we are really living times that spirit is moving right here with us on the ground, and it is felt massively. It's up to us to flow with it and have that knowledge to flow with it. And in order to do so and not get stuck into the old manipulative and control patterning, is to make that choice and clear ourselves out from it. Create an energy field that is so strong nobody or nothing can hit it. And okay, that needs some training, that is true, and that training will never stop, because once you get there and you really get so strong in mentality, it means you move beyond any emotion and get into the higher senses, in the body, in the brain, in your heart center especially, of course. The other side is you can power up and see where did you go into the acceptance of low word, low wages, crappy jobs, everything that puts you down. So most of the time it's fear, just fear. Fear of not having enough money, fear of not being worth the best the earth has to offer, and earth has a lot to offer these days. Fear of things going on with your children, fear of failure, fear of making the same mistakes over and over again, fear of being controlled, fear of using your brain, fear of speaking out, fear of being alone, fear of being judged, and so on. The list is so long. So many did a great deal on working on their brain patterning and getting that out. There is so much information on the internet, so you could easily really re-educate yourself. But here, I mean, you could read books, there's information, there's plenty of information on the internet. You could invest in doing seminars, doing onlines, invest in co-creating with new people, in choosing the right company. With company, I mean friends, acquaintances, intelligent people, and retrain yourselves from there on, because if you don't invest in brain power and in changing yourself like on a daily level and making really a schedule for yourself, I mean, even if you have 3 or 4 children running around, even if you have a spouse that isn't worth anything and you're still living in that same paradigm, then I would say it's up to you to change and get your power out, get your intuition to the highest level. Everybody can do this. I mean, yes, of course, you need courage, you need faith, you need to trust in self. And there's so many books written about that. They are so long, drawn out, it makes me sick. Because today we have technology that just by breathing a code or thinking it and opening the brain to a lighter brain, spirit in the body, it gives you really the right assets, access, and information. So please, it's only fear that keeps you from going backwards. Well, all the gates are opened, and it's up to everybody to really step into that, because everybody feels something is changing upon earth, and that is spirit and your source self moving on the same level. So the earth is ascending into the business of spirit on earth, meaning every opportunistic input is gonna rise above the ground. And that is quite some screen to witness, really. And on the other hand, new businesses will rise up, but it will require the strength, the intelligence, and the knowledge of spirit. And many very mundane companies, enterprises, will want people to really engage in the knowledge of spirit and write the new books of knowledge, the new books that make people rich in the brain and opening up to a light earth brain, meaning massive expansion, versus the little dumbing of the soul. That means that the brain gets clogged into manipulation, and it's like a repetitive LP, a long player, you know. That long player has been playing in your brain and took over anything you could think. So getting out of that long player that makes you do what society wants you to do and be in the control, once you get out of that, there's no stopping you. I mean, you get into your word, you get into your original vibration. Do you have any idea what that is? Who you are, what you can do, what you have to offer? Everybody on earth has to offer something to anybody, and that is reason for the gathering. everybody has so much word. Everybody has a specialty. And when gathering our specialties together and teaming up and creating new businesses, so much word will come up, especially now when time has come that everything will move very, very fast into the equality. So there's people on earth, okay, they're in debt, so very low. Then there's people on the pyramid, the money pyramid, that okay, making ends meet. And then there's people, a little bit of savings, but not knowing, you know, maybe good for a holiday or something. That's not good enough. And then, okay, there's the ladder up to the millionaires and the billionaires. That's very few. What I was thinking or got from my sources, the lowest level needs to meet the highest level, but in the middle, where everybody can equal out, and really that gets to the health of everybody. Of course, we can start polishing. Polishing, where is my health at a low level? Because if you want to move up the ladder of the almighty dollar, then you will really need a disease-free body. Because if you have diseases in the body and you're not very healthy, you get exhausted. An exhausted body has no attraction whatsoever. So that is first on the ladder, your health. Health goes with fitness all of the time. Fitness as much as you eat. If you think you need food on a daily level, then bring that up a higher level. So your physical body needs as much fitness as it needs food. So these are two things to really get into balance and attract better things for yourself. And from that level on, you really need to first eliminate what stands in the way to become a strong being, confident, in strength and high-level mental strength. You can be strong physically, but when you still have emotions playing out at every angle, that will put your physical body down all the time. The same goes if you haven't enough money to buy or to enjoy the things you really want in your life. It creates a disease in your body. It creates stress. Because you get stressed out and you can't feed your body with what it needs for your particular window of wealth and health. So that is very important to wake up into. And then a third goal is, what are your goals? What would you like to manifest? What is your passion? What is your strength? What could you pull out? What is really you, without copying anybody? Because if you look on the internet, everybody copies everybody. And so my thinking goes, are they so poor in consciousness? Is that what this world is about? Is that reason why people still need to talk about some scientists, Hawkins, Einstein, great entrepreneurs, whatever? Okay, they did great things, but hey, they're gone, right? So let's start working from how they left this earth plane and create something better. All I see is repetition, 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 and nothing new. So, and so there's so much to create from and to be good at. I mean, so many people with really, really wonderful, great skills keep themselves hidden, the hidden factor. or they miss out on spirit consciousness. They're still going back into the soul, and in the soul, the brain can only take but so much information, and then it stops. You know, it stops and it keeps on repeating the old stuff like a long player. Like when you get out of the soul consciousness and you clear that out, you're like, oh, whoa, I'm a newborn. Yes, because you can build an energy field around you that has plenty of room, a lot more than your brain can take. And at a certain level, when you take up so much information, you need to really fuse some of that information into your energy field. And when your energy field and the body and the brain and your strength matches that with many planes of existences, you can just move into these planes, get that data down, and help you with your original vibration and get into your strength. So here the first thing is, where do you miss out? Where do you want to invest in? Do you want to work on yourself? Because if you're not motivated in working on yourself, what happens is that you will always keep on encountering the same old problems, which is so exhausting, because in the end you get exhausted by self, and that's a bad thing, really. So being motivated, what can you do? What would you like to do? What is your original passion? What can you remember where you're really good at, but always had an excuse to not really dig deep into that? So there's many levels to really set your goals on a daily level. I mean, you can be as strong as you want in communicating with people, but if you miss out on pulling these skills out in the big world, like on the internet and all that social media, what's the use? You can talk to yourself as well. What's the use? I mean, we are entering the age of communication on every level, and communication is big business. But you need to know how to communicate. Another example is I have a lot of people in my private sessions who have many problems at work. Take an example, a teacher. A teacher feels themselves many times manipulated by other teachers, for example. Other teachers that's very strong in speech, pulling up a wall, like, you listen to me and that's it. They're not strong in mentality. They don't know how to cut through that vibe. They fear their own vibe. They fear judgment. They fear opinion. They fear themselves, actually. Okay? So here is how can you get yourself out of the fear of being judged and manipulated by other people in your own job or job place. That is something really strong to work on, because it strengthens everything in your home as well. And when you get strong in the self, in the first place in your family, you get strong everywhere. But when you're weak in your family, and there's only that one person running the family, then that's the root of the problem. Einstein used to say, the root of the problem is in the genes, and he was damn right. The whole big genesis, the genes. If your root center is stuck, it's all about the monies. How you put that out. It's all about your worth. Where is your worthiness? Where is your strength? Is it in listening to other people and never putting anything else out? Is it saying like, yeah, you're damn right, good video, good movie, that? No, no. You can get ideas from other people. But what I miss out when listening to people is their brain power. Their power. People forget how to think for themselves, how to really dig into something. And okay, they get manipulated again and again and again. I mean, it's not when listening to somebody you can learn. I mean, you can do seminars, you can do so much, but if you don't upgrade through that instantly, how much is that investment worth? You need to change 360 degrees from one thing. Otherwise, the long run will go over years. And we could start out setting a 3-month plan or a master plan that goes into the next year and the next incoming 10 years. How far are you willing to think? It's all about that. And now, it's very easy if you don't have trust, how to get a new trust. If you don't have faith, you lost faith to get out of that. But the most interesting thing and the most fun thing to do and to see with people when I work with them in private sessions is really getting them out of the fear. Because fear is the bottom line snake that holds you back from everything. So I created a zip line, really a zipper, to zip that fear out of the body. And also, of course, offer things to get you from one level into the other level. Why do people not invest in themselves? Because they've lost faith. How can we grow if we don't invest? Education has already gone so low on our plane. Look at universities. Look at what kind of education the children get. I mean, we need to get into the re-educational programs for everybody. And that's going to be a lot of new enterprises on Earth starting now. I mean, we have summertime, right? 3 months, June, July, August. And that's really premium time to change overnight. You can do it yourself. You can get a mentor. You can work in a group of people. You can do seminars. You can educate yourself on the internet and decipher yourself what is wrong and what is a good thing to really invest in. But here I think we need to really get those feelers out of the body. The feelers. Because if the brain doesn't match the heart and the heart doesn't match your energy field, how in the world are you ever going to feel at ease? If you're still afraid to leave the old lifestyles you're used to live in, and that break you most of the time. If you're not willing to make a choice in what people you are allowing in your surrounding and having a good conversation with, then the question is, what kind of responsibility are you willing to take? It takes a lot of training, but then again, everybody can really change their entire life from living in debt into having at least an okay life and getting so strong that you can completely forget about your life now and make the complete changeover in 3 months' time. So that depends on how hard you are willing to invest in yourself and be willing to do the whole work, really. When I hear a lot of people talk, that's okay. But I miss out on their own spirit, their specialty, what it is. Where do they get that information? And once you get your spirit back in the body, I mean, think about what makes your heart beat. It's spirit, but doesn't mean spirit is within and without. Because when spirit really moves into your body, your energy gets a real thrill. Many people talk about flow. What flow really means is that you merge with all universes and all planes of existences. This means really that you get into the construction and the respect and humility of the universe. And that takes a lot of training. And when that pops in, that means that you have left everything that is duality, every density, for you wouldn't even be able to understand what people are talking about. I mean, just mundane life. I'm here to take people out of the mundane, really, because there's nothing that feeds the brain. Especially people watching TV series or even having a TV. I don't have a TV ever since 20 years now. I wouldn't know why. When I'm at a friend's place and I would maybe watch TV with them for 15 minutes and I go out and go for a jog or anything, my brain goes, oh, what was that show about? And that guy should have done that, and if I was there, I would have said this and that. You know how TV in 15 minutes had taken over my mind, the old mindset. So I was thinking about plenty of unimportant things where I didn't have any skills at all. So what's the word? What word is in there? Nothing. Zero. Zero consciousness. Emptiness. So TV is training you to not ever think, but take over, so we can keep on caging your brain. That's all it is. Or you can choose to leave that completely behind and start training your brain. Start meeting up with interesting people and setting your goals really high. Now what I'm going to do is train people in how to do that. If I set my goal like here, I don't know too much about a few things getting into business, then I need a real good entrepreneur. I need somebody who's not in the opportunistic input, the falsehood. I need somebody who is passionate and open to really teach me, or let's say at least have an interaction where I feed that somebody as much into things that somebody doesn't know about, and I get the return investment from something I need to learn. I'm talking, I want to learn about cinema, how to get really some new form of information to people through the moving pictures. I mean, everything is really social media and the internet and moving pictures. So I'm not skilled there, so I need to learn it. What do I do at this point? I put myself in meditation. I put the grids up, the lighted grids that are pure information, that are data, and you need to have knowledge how to do that. So I've been pulling out a lot of videos about it. You can read about it on my website, and that's pretty interesting. So what I do is I put my goals. I need 1 or 2, let's say, well, I want 3 people. I want to meet 3 and, you know, see the difference. But I don't want to meet 20 or 25 because my brain goes like, I want to learn fast and I want to have the best. So that meeting 25 would be a waste of time. I want to meet the best. I'm here in a little town, doesn't matter. We have the internet. Let's spread it. And the next goal is need to talk really fast, like I do sometimes. Never repeat anything, because I think that's a horror. I hate that. I get bored. When anybody repeats everything 3 or 4 times, I just, close off. Then to the point, strategic, and immediate. Immediate responses to my thinking patterns. So, and then I let go. You really need to let go immediately. I set it there with the highest standards. And I don't even think about it. And then when I go outdoors, in 10 minutes, I meet the first one. Without even thinking. I said, oh yeah, wow, right. I have been setting this. So this is how fast it should go. It is instant manifestation, ease and grace. And if you struggle with that, then it's only releasing the body, relieving the body from the old control, the mindset. Get into your brains. Forget about the mind, because it's going to be sick, really. So for those who really want to move faster, like I do on every level almost, except when I don't see it right, so I have to work harder, is eliminating, adding, because the more you eliminate all of the old, meaning and relationships and people and consciousness and opinions, whatever is old, whatever you took over from somebody else's consciousness and it doesn't work any longer, let go. I mean, it's easy to say let go. But there is techniques to do that. Techniques, really, I work on myself at least 3 hours a day. I do at least 1 to 2 hours fitness a day, because if I don't have that, I'm not in the flow. Meaning in the flow here is when I work with all vibrations in this big universe. I need to feel them. And that is when I release, I breathe in and I zip, my body goes like this. And it releases immediately like this, the emotions. So you feel like being in a whirlpool all the time. That is being in the flow, and that is when the waves come through, really 6-dimensional. So there's a lot to learn, but it's so much fun and so interesting. So anybody interested in really getting into a higher standard of motivation, getting to the highest level of where you are stuck and moving that out, we can have a one-on-one session and get you started, really started in your word, and cut out really the survival issues that is keeping so many backwards instead of moving forwards and having it all. Alright then, thank you, meet up next time, bye bye.